Hey there, if you follow us on YouTube or on our newsletter, you know that here at 5Market Realty, we also do a lot of real estate. We put out real estate videos, market updates, but during the football season, we like to do a lot of fun things with Georgia football with our clients and people that just interact with us. One of those is prediction contests that we've done where we give out a gift card to local businesses. This video is actually, I put out a little bit earlier just because I want to talk about prediction of the season. I woke up this morning and I realized it's next week. I mean, after this Saturday, next week is Georgia's first home game against Tennessee Martin. So been real busy with things here. So it just kind of snuck up on me. Now I'm going to go through the season and give you my opinion, and feel free to disagree. This isn't something I put a lot of thought into. I'm not Chip Towers. I'm not Jeff Dantzler, but it's fun to talk about, fun to have a debate. And, the truth is, if you follow Georgia football, you know that every pundit out there is talking about how great Georgia is. I think they got 60 votes in the AP. They're ranked number one. And then there's talk about Georgia's schedule being very easy. There's talk about there being a known at quarterback. And I think what's Michigan's second, Ohio State, Alabama. So this is all preseason. None of these rankings matter. We all know that. I mean, if you follow football, it's just for us to talk about. Not a game's been played. But Georgia's won back-to-back national championships, which is just crazy to think about. That the last 2 years, that's what's happened. As a Georgia fan, it was my entire life from March of 1980 until 2021 that Georgia did it. And, this season does line up to where it looks like could be easy for Georgia. But this is where I'm going to differ. I'm going to look at some games because I want Georgia to go undefeated. I'm a Georgia fan, but it's really hard to do that. There has to be a loss somewhere on the schedule. There just has to be. Things happen. The ball's shaped funny. I was watching the Netflix Swamp Kings. I saw 2 episodes, and they were showing the 07 Florida team that I think maybe lost 4 games. I know Georgia beat them. I think LSU beat them. Maybe South Carolina, Ole Miss. I'm trying to remember those losses. That team was stacked and lost a lot of games. So it could happen, especially when a fan base gets arrogant. That's what our coach is always talking about, is not getting complacent. So let's look at this. I'm not even going to cover Tennessee Martin, Ball State, South Carolina. Let's find a game or two that Georgia could lose. So the first one is South Carolina. South Carolina's got Spencer Rattler. They beat Clemson. They beat, Tennessee. That was one of the best rides home from Statesboro to me. Listen to the Tennessee calling line after they got beat by South Carolina. But South Carolina, that's one, right? Okay, it's at home. It's probably unlikely. Georgia does have a better roster. What's the next one? Well, it's probably not UAB. What about Auburn? At Auburn, I'm probably not going to count that as a possible loss because Auburn's got a first-year coach. It is at Auburn. It'll be hard to play there, but I'd be surprised. Kentucky at Georgia, that's another one. I'm going to put that one up there. And then we've got Missouri at Georgia, Florida game, and Georgia at Tennessee, Mississippi. Okay, this is where it's going to happen. That's my prediction. Let me get down here a little bit. Let's go ahead and say Georgia beats South Carolina. They get past Auburn. October matters the most. I've said that before. So I'm not rooting for this, by the way. I'm not rooting for this to happen. But I know that it's hard in college athletics to do what they're trying to do. And just the law of averages, a bad day, your quarterback gets hurt, your linebacker gets hurt, your kicker's having a fight with his girlfriend, misses 3 kicks. These things happen. So Georgia, Kentucky, Georgia, Missouri, Georgia, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, and Georgia at Tennessee. And then there's that Tech game down there. Ooh, wouldn't that be bad? Okay, so in this block right here, I think this last 2 months of the season is where it's going to be tough. Hopefully, Georgia's gotten to a point to where they're going to be resilient and maybe have a close game and power through like they did against Missouri. But here are the 3 games that scare me right now. I'm scared of Georgia going to Tennessee. I'm scared of Missouri complacency. And I'm scared of Georgia Tech. Not because Georgia Tech's probably going to beat us, just because I don't want that to happen. So that's really scary. So I think what I'm going to sit here and probably worry about the most likely game that Georgia could lose is coughing one up at Tennessee. I think there is a chance that Tennessee's not as good as they were last year, that maybe they're not as ahead of schedule as they thought. But going to Knoxville that late in the year, it could be cold. It could be freezing rain. That one worries me the most. And I think any Georgia fan should look to there. Which game is the most likely? Truthfully, Georgia could go undefeated, or if they lose a game, it could be something nobody sees coming. But I'm thinking Georgia might lose a tough one up at Tennessee. And that's going to be my prediction. Don't hate me. I remember before the 2021 season, I put this out, and I thought Georgia would lose to Clemson and then run the table. And I was almost right because it was a close game. But I was walking by a friend of mine in town, and he just walked by and he said, "So you think Clemson's going to beat us, huh?" And I laughed and I said, well, I hope they don't. But yeah, this is for fun. This is for us to interact with you. One last thing to note. Thanks for sticking with me for 5 minutes. One last thing is this year we're going to do our prediction contest a little differently. We're not going to do them every week. We're going to do them for the SEC games and any games after the regular season. The reason for that is it's just becoming a lot of work. And, keep in mind when you send in your predictions, some games we might get 100 people. We got to go through and see who won, create that, and then put another video out. So for Tennessee Martin, for UAB, for games like that, we're just going to not do the prediction contest. We're going to focus only on SEC games. So the first one's actually going to be South Carolina. And then if it's an SEC matchup, we're going to do it, and probably also Georgia Tech, but we're going to do that as well. Bigger matchups. Right now, unfortunately, the front end of the schedule is not great for a Georgia fan. But September is going to get a little cooler for us, we hope. So be on the lookout for that. And when you get these videos or see them, send us your prediction, and hopefully we can get you the winner a gift card to a local business. I think last year we got so busy with it, there were some people that I actually missed that were from out of town. So I don't want that to happen again. Have a great week and stay cool out there. It's still hot in August.